we doing?
Oh, good. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Big fan of the show. Yeah, you talk about Jimmy Johnson. That's my guy. 44 years old. So I was a part of the glory years in the 90s for sure. Yeah. Jerry Jones, he and Jimmy get drunk one night at a convention and the rest is history.
Before
And
you
I
know
swear
it,
the son of a
Jimmy's
bitch
looking
sold
for a
his
new
soul
job.
What's that?
I said, before you know it, Jimmy's looking for a new job.
Yeah. And I mean, Jerry goes ahead and sells his soul to the devil to get the Super Bowl 30 championship with Switzer. And, nowadays I think he's willing to take out a second line of credit on that son of a bitch because he'll do anything. I would hope at this point before he takes a dirt nap to get one without a Jimmy Johnson created team. So that being said, I'm excited to share some intel on what I think needs to get done to get us to that back to hell. Give me a conference championship game. Well, 30 years plus without it.
Itching. I mean,
I'm dying.
Ema, as someone who gave up on this fan base, to someone who's still on the bandwagon and can't leave it, what do you got to say to him?
Nick, I'm 43, brother. So I'm telling you, as long as Jerry Jones and the Jones family is anything a part of the Dallas Cowboys, I just refuse to ever think it's coming back around. I'm being honest because everybody say, oh, if Jerry passed, will be no. His son is a fucking idiot too, and he's gonna want to be in the spotlight just like his fucking daddy. So I don't think it'll never change, man. And I'm telling you, I'm just super disappointed because, like you said, I was around for the Super Bowls with Jimmy and Barry, and I even been around where I thought we was gonna win them with Tony and Dak, and just like, all right, enough's enough. I can't do it anymore. So I mean, listen.
Man. Dude, I feel you. And, you're right. The Cowboys will be in the Jones family until you and I are long gone, my friend.
Yes.
Right? I mean, they're like a bad penny. They're going, shit. There's just nothing we can do about it. As far as what I'm seeing at this stage, you got his comments about us being all in last year. Shit, what are all in? You didn't spend any free agent money. Waited to the 5th round to draft a running back. We got really lucky with the Javonte Williams signing. Really lucky. I like what I saw out of him. Really hoping we can turn, that success into maybe 2-year, $13, $14 million deal, depending on the market. A lot of moves that he claims he's willing to make. Trey Hendrickson, come on.
Didn't happen.
Get us another elite pass rusher. I mean, he's not on Parsons' level, but he's elite. So, I mean, there's tools there. He claims he's willing to put the food on the plate for us. But,
Nick, I'm telling you,
he says that shit before.
More of us Dallas fans got to really boycott him, stop buying the tickets, stop buying the – because as long as he's going to be the most profitable – he doesn't really give a fuck about a winning team anymore. And he's just going to keep – like that one girl you just kept telling, I'm going to take you out this weekend. I'm going to buy you a purse. You kept feeding it to her. She kept coming over.
You're exactly right. After the Parsons deal, I was actually texting with Austin from my truck, actually, and a long line of texts I was giving and receiving at that point. But when we traded Parsons to the Packers, I'm just like, shit, this year's really going to be tough. But, then – I'm down in the dumps. We make the Quentin Williams trade. And it's like Godfather Part 3. Just when you think you're out, the sons of bitches bring you back in.
Right back in.
So I was back. And I really liked what he was able to do with the Quentin Williams deal. I know he caught a lot of heat, between Parsons and that trade. But we were able to use some of the Parsons money to go to Ferguson, to go to Tyler Smith. A lot of, re-signing a lot of guys that were going to be coming off their rookie deals. So I think, shit, here I go again.
Oh, no, don't do it.
Talking yourself into it. Oh, don't tell me next year. Don't tell me next year's the year. Don't tell me.
Dude, Jerry's got, he beat stage 4 cancer. This man is a superhero. He will live forever. But if he doesn't, he has to get another ring. He has to.
It's not going to happen.
That's his line of thinking, and I sure wouldn't say no to that. But, you're talking to a guy here whose kid's named Landry. My son's name is Micah. That wasn't after Micah Parsons, of course, but it was certainly a good fit.
My dog's named Dakota. That's why I say my dog's named Dakota.
We had a Dakota too. Yeah, and I love Dak Prescott. I think the narrative around him, he catches a lot of hell because he's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Has he shit the bed at times? Absolutely. But this is a man who struggled through Mike freaking McCarthy for 4 or 5 years.
Oh, Nick, I'm a Mike fan. That's why I say, hold on, Mike. I'm a Mike fan.
Three-time 12-win season with Dallas Cowboy Mike McCarthy.
Yes, yeah,
Mike
but
brought the best out of him, though. I think the guy that Shotty got now is the guy that Mike developed. Let's be clear. Mike developed this guy who Shotty got now.
Yeah, okay, and I can agree with that. But I will never take the X's and O's away from Mike McCarthy. But when it comes down to like the intangible team running, the game planning, time management, I mean, this guy is as inept and frustrating as it comes. There's no way around that. He's smart offensively, absolutely. You don't get the job in Green Bay. You don't get the job with Dallas and the job now in Pittsburgh, 3 iconic franchise without being able to put something together.
Yeah.
But the guy, it was hard. It was hard for a lot of years to watch that happen. And as far as Prescott's concerned, yeah, he developed him. So did Jason Garrett. But I think Shotty is in a situation right now with obviously a seasoned quarterback with a ton of skin on the walls. He's got many Pro Bowls, which really doesn't amount to a hill of beans these days anymore, but all pro seasons, he's played at an MVP caliber level. We haven't turned the page past the divisional round, and that sucks. But this is a guy who you look at the echelon of Dallas Cowboys quarterbacks, I put him at her at the top. You say number 2, and that's okay because you're looking it's really 4 guys in the hierarchy. You got Aikman, you got Dak, you got Romo, you got Staubach.
Yep, yeah. That's it.
Staubach's obviously, he was in the 70s with those 2 Super Bowls, but this guy's going to have every record. He already is the all-time leader in passing yards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Romo's got the touchdown record, and Romo's a cool story too. Talking about a young gunslinger from Wisconsin, Eastern Illinois, played quarterback. Sean Payton found him on Parcells' staff. He came in, and he did really well. But with Romo, he always had some shit going on. He's like going to Cabo in the
dating Jessica Simpson.
Exactly.
Jessica Simpson. It was like he became the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. He was just like, F it, I'm going to do this all in. And that cost us, man. That year that they were the number 1 seed.
Dez called it, though. Nick, Dez called it. Dez called the pass.
Seriously?
That's why I could never like Green Bay.
You go back to Mike McCarthy. That's the one smart thing that son of a bitch did was throw that red challenge flag on the Dez catch.
Well, all right. Before we get too crazy,
that's why I say we was about to go. Me and Nick, I might come back, Nick. You making me feel
that was the best team we've had in a while. You had 2,000-yard runner DeMarco Murray.
DeMarco,
we let him go. We let him go.
Let him go die somewhere else.
Yeah,
that was like the best Cowboys O line, like maybe top 2-3 offensive line they ever had too. Because as soon as he left the great O line, he was nothing. Gone, dead. His career was over. That his success was all Cowboys O-line, and him leaving showed it. But you already kind of talked about Schottenheimer. Like, what are your thoughts? I know a lot of people had a lot of things to say before the season started about Brian Schottenheimer, and now I think there's a different narrative, a different tone. So, like, where are you standing with Schottenheimer right now in that first season?
Yeah, dude, that summarizes it perfectly. My thoughts right there. Before they're going through the interview process, and there's some really attractive names that they're throwing around, and they land on Shotty. You're like, what the hell? This is kind of a guy who's never been a head coach. He's been on offensive staffs, been an offensive coordinator several stops, like the Jets. Come on. He comes in, and you really had to dig into like the way he talks to the team, the way he talks in the locker room, the guy like McCarthy, he's learned to cut his teeth within that offensive scheme. He's developed his own offense in the problem. He can coach the hell out of the offense, but it's the way that this man conducts the team. You're talking about a guy who I think it was against the game after the Raiders, or maybe the Raiders, they benched George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb for the first series. He's holding people accountable. He's not a complete hard ass. He's still a team or player's coach, but he's not to be trifled with. He knows and he has respect for that locker room. So that's really cool. And, he's got like some Tomlin, but he's also got some Belichick. If you want to talk hyperbole, upper echelon coaches, he's got some of that line of thinking where he can intermingle those two mindsets. And I think that's really cool. Time will tell. I think he's going to have a super short leash. We talked about how old Jerry Jones is. He's going to want to move on if he can't see some tangible evidence that we can get to at least a conference championship game. But Shotty, I've bought into him because I've seen, like I said, interviews, locker room video, his press conferences, this guy's on point with exactly how I like a coach to approach it. So I'm buying it. And like I said, the offense wasn't the problem. You're talking about a historically bad Cowboys defense. Jerry Jones hires Matt Eberflus. That was a Jerry Jones hire. That wasn't Brian Schottenheimer. Christian Parker comes in. That's a Brian Schottenheimer hire.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We're talking about a guy, Jerry loves hiring defensive coordinators who have been a head coach in other places. He's done it time and time again. Zimmer, Eberflus, Mike Nolan, nothing. All, without any solid results that they put on the table for us. So I was really excited to see them bring in Christian Parker. I know he was highly sought after. Green Bay, I think, brought him in or wanted to bring him in for an interview. I think they brought in Durante Jones.
He was at Green Bay a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and Jim Leonard we were looking at, but, they were going to have to wait on Denver to get eliminated, and Christian Parker seemed to be a hot name, so they jumped on that. And I really, really love what he did in Philly, especially being their D-backs coach with Reed Blankenship returning an undrafted rookie free agent out of Middle Tennessee State to a team captain. And, he really, really plays at a high level. He's not all pro or anything like that, but very, very serviceable. So dude's a free agent, by the way. Come down to Dallas some because we can use that.
Yeah.
Parker's going to need someone to step in and be his coach on the field, basically get people lined up. But I really like that hire, and I think that had Brian Schottenheimer's fingerprints all over it.
Yeah. I was just talking about it Tuesday. I knew him personally when he was at Norfolk State. He recruited a guy I was coaching when he was recruiting coordinator and defensive back at Norfolk State. He's rose fast. Super fast. And you kind of jumped to us because we was asking what kind of the fan base is feeling about him. And I guess people are excited, but I tell people all the time, you cannot make chicken salad out of chicken shit. So he's better have a voice in there to be able to say, let's go get some people. Because, and I'm a big Al Harris guy. Like, I hate it when we just let him get away. So hopefully they give Christian the reins to bring some guys in that he can play and give him the free reins to do what he want to do. And just getting back to Shotty, I trash talked to him earlier. When the year started, before I switched over, I trash talked that hire. I'm like, oh, no, this is the reason I'm really leaving. But I will come back and say he did an awesome fucking job as a head coach this year. So I want to commend him. But, like, getting back to what we were saying with the Christian Parker, everybody's excited about him. But I got to see what he can do because, I don't know.
That was a we.
I'm telling you, Nick is
talking about the Cowboys again.
Nick is pulling me back in. I just got to say his energy is pulling me back in. God damn it. Let me put the hat on.
Don't put the hat on. No, put the hat on.
Nick.
I gotta put it on. Is your skin boiling a little bit? Your skin boiling with that hat on right now? Oh, yeah. Oh, boy, I didn't think he'd be back. Oh, man, that's brutal. Nick, you broke him. He's a broken man again.
Welcome back, my man. Welcome back.
Well, shit. All right, you two cowboy jabronis. Like, what's it going to take for this team to get back to the Super Bowl? What has to happen? Is Jerry got to die and his ownership got to leave the Jones family? Or how in the hell does this team ever get back to the Super Bowl so the Cowboys fans can stop saying this year's our year like they've been saying for the last 30 straight years?
Yeah, man, and Iman kind of touched on it. Like, really let Christian Parker do his thing with that defense because I touched on it earlier. Offense really isn't a problem. What is Tyler Guyton at left tackle? Who knows on that one quite yet? But, we got two hellacious monsters at guard in Tyler Smith and Tyler Booker. You got the name Tyler and you're a first-round pick. There's a pretty good shot you're on the good Dallas Cowboys offensive line because they're straight as sons of bitches. But Lions shouldn't be a problem. I do think they'll address that right tackle. But as far as the defense is concerned, man, I think it's about bringing in a Blankenship. Looking at the free agent market for cornerbacks, it's really not that great. You got the kid from Tampa, Tariq Woolen out in Seattle. There's just a handful of guys there, not of the real guys that are going to, big heavy names like sometimes you see at free agent cornerback on a yearly basis. But the draft, there again, not a lot of depth at corner. There's some solid depth, but top-end talent. Do we know what Mansour Delaney is? Really, the question on him is the arm length, whatever. I think he'll go in the top 10, top 15. Jermon McCoy, the injury thing, and, the kid from South Carolina. There's just going to be question marks there. I think having one or two good free agents, particularly at DB and or linebackers, are paramount. I'd re-sign Jadeveon Clowney, give him a 1 or 2 year deal. I know he's old. The motor is absolutely there. This guy's kicking ass, busting his chops in the last game of the year against, I think it was Washington. finished with 2 sacks in a game that didn't matter. He's up there in age. He's not a young guy, but he still can, get you 8, 9 sacks. It's perfectly fine. Donovan Ezeraku on the other side, 2nd-round pick out of Boston College last year, shown some things to fit in the run. Probably better than Parsons ever did. He's never going to rush a passer like
Hey. Parsons got better against the run in Green Bay. He got better.
Yeah, he did. I'll give you that. The guy's kind of like a DeMarcus Lawrence starter kit right now for us. Good against the run, solid, gets you 9, 10 sacks type of guy. Tank goes to Seattle and, really happy for him. He's going to the Super Bowl finally. He called that shit, too. He said he's leaving the Cowboys because he wanted to go to the Super Bowl.
He want to go.
But, I think draft-wise, you really got to look at that. Caleb Downs, if he's there at 12, run.
Easy. Yeah.
You run to make that pick.
Sprint the ticket up to the commissioner.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm edge-wise, I really like Ruben Bain. He's not going to be there.
No.
That guy's upside is off the charts.
What pick do y'all got? What pick does the Cowboys got?
12. Yeah, 12. And
12. Yeah, so you're probably sitting, if you're lucky, David Bailey is still there.
David Bailey, yeah.
If you're lucky, he's still there.
Yeah, that's the other edge that I would consider there at 12. I don't think he's going to be there either. I think that's a top 10 pick too. Yeah. I think Caleb Downs will be gone. Sonny Styles.
I think Caleb Downs will be there. I don't think teams want to spend a top 10 pick on a safety.
On a safety, right. And the last time Dallas did it was Roy Williams. That was a pretty solid pick for us. But that draft, the Roy Williams draft, when we took him out of Oklahoma, I think it was 7 overall, 7 or 8. Ed Reed went at 24 to Baltimore.
Exactly. Listen, don't get me to talking about picks that we. Greg Ellis is the one that's sitting we missed out on fucking Randy Moss for Greg Ellis. So I'm telling you, Greg, exactly. UNC. I was like, what the fuck? But while we're on things, Dallas is a popular team, and just talking about players. Who's a player on the Cowboys that kind of nobody knows about, but it's probably gonna be like a superstar? I look at Overshawn myself. If he can stay healthy, I think he's going to be good. But who do you think is somebody that we all should be kind of looking for this year to kind of just blow up?
You're exactly right. DeMarvion Overshawn is I'm a Longhorn fan too. So obviously followed his career when we recruited him, safety turned linebacker. I think he'll do well in the Parker defense. I mean, if they're able to get Sonny Styles, that kind of gives you a similar player with even higher upside. But put those two at linebacker, that's a problem for people. I think that could be really good. Like you said, a lot of people probably know about Dio, but I'm interested to see what Siobhan Revel gives them with some tutelage that Christian Parker.
How much did he play this? How much did Revel play? Because he got drafted.
He played 4 or 5 games, and that's another 3rd-round pick. Overshawn was a 3rd-round pick, but Revel
with first-round talent.
First-round talent. Tears up his knee. You're going to have a basic pseudo redshirt year, your rookie year out of East Carolina. He comes in, and I think he started. Not just played, but started 4 or 5 games at the end. Had his lumps, but you could see the rookie talent is there. And a guy like Christian Parker, who you're talking about, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, the dude works wonders with young DBs. Bring on Revel, give him some time. He's got size. He's got talent. I'm really excited to see what he can do. We do still need another corner because I think Bland's better at the slot. But, I'd say Siobhan Revel for sure as a guy not a lot of people know about that could take that next step with the proper coaching that you ain't getting from Matt Eberflus.
For sure.
No, I love the Revel drop because I remember the last draft cycle, everyone's talking about Siobhan Revel as like a top 25 type of pick, but the injuries, it's like we don't know. He's probably going to slide because of the injuries and the lack of game tape, but what we have seen on tape is like, holy shit, this guy is really good, super strong in man coverage. Like, there's no such thing as just a pure man corner with how much zone dominates the NFL now. You have to be a good zone corner, but he's got all the instincts and the route mirroring abilities out of anyone to be super successful. So I think that's awesome. I loved Overshawn coming out of the draft. I do all my mock drafts every year. Done a couple with Nick, whooped his ass and everyone else's ass in the mock drafts. But I've always been a huge Overshawn. When he went to Dallas, he was one of those guys. I hated to see him go to Dallas because I hate the Cowboys, so I'm a Packers fan. Overshawn has got the dog in him, but got a lot of leg injuries. Well, he's got the torn MCL, ACL, like all of it.
You're talking about 2 third-round picks with that. I mean, there's knee concerns with both of them. And, Dio comes back after. I think he played the full second half of the season. So there's a lot of rust these guys are shaking off. I think Dio for sure is going to take the next step next year. It remains to be seen with Revel. But like you said, man, the intangibles, the size, the strength, everything's there. It's the technique shit that you could see him struggle with, but that's all coachable. Those are things that he can fix. So
if
excited
only
about him. And then, like I said, Donovan Ezeroku, that I think he's going to be a really solid player for a long time.
Yeah, that was another guy. I know a lot of teams, a lot of fans wanted Ezeroku on like their roster as a second round pick coming out of Boston College. And
yeah, and even talk about mocks. Some had him late first. So I mean, for us to get him in the second was a nice little steal.
I know the Packers want him, right? The Jeff Hafley connection with him coming out of Boston College and Jeff Hafley at the time in Green Bay. He was mocked to the Packers heavy in the second round. He was one of those guys too. Like it was like him or Nick Scorton coming out. I was like, oh, you get one of those two. You got a damn good football player on your team. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, hey, if only Leighton Vander Esch ever panned out. Man, thick as neck in the league, but the back couldn't hold it.
Yeah, dude, it is neck guard just a problem, man.
Yeah. Sick look. It's a great look. Great look.
You know how I feel about LVE, man. He was better than I thought he'd be, but still.
Yeah, I thought it was a wasted draft pick. Yeah, I thought it was a wasted draft pick because as big as he was, he should have punished people. But I also tell people he didn't play 11 on 11 in high school, so he just didn't have a lot of time being a dominant person. But he was kind of overpicked. But then when he started the ball, I'm like, all right, he's pretty good. But yeah, he didn't last as long as he should have.
No, he couldn't stay healthy. All right. Nick, before we get into our little keep 3, cut 3 game, you kind of already touched on it, but like, what's the plan for the Cowboys this offseason? What do they got to address? Who do they got to cut? Who do they got to trade? Assuming Jerry Jones is not leaving anytime soon, and that's obviously one of the bigger problems that needs to get resolved. But what else besides Jerry?
Let's stick to things that are within the realm of that could actually take place. For the first time in a while, we're not horribly strapped cap wise. That played into the Parsons thing because that's a lot of money in Dak, CD, and Parsons should they have done that. But I think you got to cut Terrence Steele at right tackle. That's a waste. I think that saves him 8.
Yeah, he's
$8 million. He is horrible. He's like my least favorite player on the team. So sorry to go off on him, but you let Donovan Wilson go. He's a free agent. That'll save you some money. You could cut Malik Hooker, save about 5 or 6. Then you're completely starting over at safety. But I mean, seriously, if you watch any Cowboys and seen their lack of over-the-top coverage, I don't think it can get any worse. So you let some of those pieces go. They already made the right decision with Trayvon Diggs, obviously earlier than I thought they would have, but they had to get rid of that.
His fall off without Al Harris.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. He went from All Pro. I think he had like 10 picks.
Insane.
Getting benched.
And then, something went wrong with him mentally or something. I don't know. But anyways, we need to eliminate players that are making a lot of money like that have been with the Cowboys for a while that Jerry loves to keep around. That's what he does. He re-signs his guys. But we got to eliminate some of that shit. Let Parker go wild with his guys because obviously it worked. It worked in Philly. So we'll see what they want to do there. Like I said, the draft is paramount. You got 2 first-round picks. You don't have a second and third, though. Okay, so if we're at 20, the pick we got from Green Bay, and you're not, absolutely in love with them, you got to trade back. You got to trade back and recoup at least one of those picks, see what happens, because they traded the extra first next year in that Quinnen Williams deal. So that pick 20 is huge for us to hit on that one way or the other. It's trade back. I love Anthony Hill out of Texas. That's not just a Longhorn talking. That's
a nice
that linebacker right there was a 5-star cut him out of high school. Kick ever-loving ass at Texas. He can, like Sonny Styles, he can cover, your tight end down the seam. He can even get after the quarterback. He had 5 or 6 sacks, I think, his junior year last year. So I think there's tremendous value there in the early second round, maybe. We'll see. I think he's moving up some boards. But I think it starts with eliminating some of that bullshit like Donovan Wilson and Terrence Steele and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Hill is violent against the run. The guy's got all the athletic traits you can want. He's good against a pass rush. He's got good coverage abilities. There's there's a lot of fun with Anthony Hill, and I think he had some injuries with Texas, right? Was he hurt a little bit?
So he missed. Yeah, I think not huge like knee or debilitative injuries. It was like a wrist, something here and there, maybe turn an ankle. He did miss some time, but when he's on the field, which was, I don't think injuries are going to hold anyone back from drafting him. I've seen some late first. I think that's a little overzealous. I think he's an early middle second round. But there's a lot of cool linebackers in this draft, man. Like Sonny Styles, Anthony
Rodriguez
Hill,
been balling. I don't know if y'all been paying
yeah.
attention to the Senior Bowl.
Yeah,
He's been down there getting busy, getting heavy turnovers. That's somebody that Dallas need who can get turnovers, cause turnovers, just super active. I've been following that Senior Bowl, just looking at trying to see who's some under the radar people, and he's been down there balling.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that great call there, dude. That would be a rock solid.
Guy should have been in the Heisman. Should have been in the Heisman candidacy this year, Jake Rodriguez. I mean,
he's got swag for days, that dude. So
looks good on
bring
the
him on the
too.
Cowboys. You can market the hell out of a dude like that. Now you're speaking Jerry Jones language.
I mean, and Anthony Hill's a young 21. Like the dude's young. He's relentless. Like I said, good run defense. Good. He's got after in the sacks, and he's got 17 sacks his last 3 seasons. He barely misses tackles. There's so much upside. I mean, you get a little Texas Longhorn linebacker crew between Overshawn and Anthony Hill. That should be lethal. Dude,
I'm already buying that jersey.
No, it's a quick quick buy. I mean, I agree.
My last name's Hill. I have his Longhorns jersey. Let's get him on the Cowboys.
Easy. Easy for you. And I agree. I think there's so much more value to be had trading back from 20. You already got the other pick. Use it on whatever you need. Trade one of them to get 2 second-rounders if you can. Try to do something like that, and or a second and a third, whatever it takes, because this is one of those drafts, and I've seen this from across the internet. It's a good year to not have a first-round draft pick type of sentiment with this first-round class. And that goes for cornerback, it goes for DT, it goes for middle linebacker or off-ball linebacker. It even goes for edge. I think there's some damn good edge rushers who aren't going to go in the first round. Now, you're going to get the cream of the crop like David Bailey and Bain. And those, I'm not big on TJ Parker. I having been a Packers fan, I'm anti first-round edge rushers who don't have college production. Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness have not exactly worked out in Green Bay. So I am all the way the F off college pass rushers with lacking production. And those Clemson D-lines are always stacked. And their D tackle is going to go top 13 in the class. So I agree. And you need a safety. And I love the sentiment. You let Hooker go and get Caleb Downs to replace Hooker.
But that's what I'm saying, Austin. They should really package 20 and 12 to make sure they can get Caleb Downs. And he reminds me more of an Earl Thomas-ish to me. He's not Sean Taylor, Ed Reed, but he's kind of Earl Thomas. But he is a guy that can do everything. He can do everything on the field. So I figure and I think he'll be there at 12. But if you think he's not, you got to make some moves. I think he's going to be there at 12.
You don't trade both first rounders to move up for a safety. You don't do that.
No.
You give him 12.
If he's there at 12, you do jumping jacks and don't take the full clock.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think you could possibly, in this day and age where football's at, where NFL's at, you cannot trade up for a safety, and you do not give up assets to trade up for, unless you're giving up your first round pick 12 and a rotational player type of guy, sure, but that's it.
Austin, we talk about it every week. You see what number 3 is doing for Seattle. You see when Kyle Hamilton went out for my Baltimore Ravens.
Didn't even go top 20 though.
But this is what I'm trying to tell you. They're a life changer on defense when you have one. When you have one that can get in the box, make tackles, can defend, can rush, it changes a lot of what you can do. And I'm telling you, Christian Parker would need somebody like that who's a game changer. And sometimes you just got to roll the dice and go get them. I'm just being honest.
I agree. No, I think Christian Parker's going to be great for any DB if they draft DB. I love them going to get what's his name out of LSU again? I always forget how to say his last name.
Mansour Delaney.
Yeah, Delaney. If I can just see that name in a Cowboys jersey, and I'm already envisioning. I already know that's where
I'm fine with that at 12.
The Tennessee guy who missed a lot of time, but they're saying is the best corner in this draft.
No.
All right, McCoy. He's
Gerard McCoy or
top 8, top 7 talent. He didn't play all last year though, dude. So there's going to be some obvious rust.
He's gonna be one of those guys. You know who he reminds me of? Different position. He reminds me of Jeffrey Simmons. He's going to drop 15 spots, 20 spots, and he should go, and he's going to become an all-pro in 2-3 seasons. And you're going to be you're going to get insane value out of him because he dropped, because of the injuries, and in 2 years, you're going to reap the benefits of a guy who should have gone top 10. He would have probably gone top 7 if he played this season. And because
Correct,
he
dude,
didn't,
but
he's going to go outside the top 15, and someone's going to get an all-pro outside the top 15.
He would never be an all-pro, Austin. I'm saying it here.
Okay.
What's today's date? 5-6 years from now,
okay,
he's overrated. No.
All right.
No.
Well, either way, the
Okay.
Dallas Cowboys right now, old ass owner, willing to do anything, hopefully to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
Dak Prescott's 32 years old. He's got 10 years in. Like, we can't do this 2 or 3 years wait bullshit. We have to hit it 12 with the plug and play starter.
For sure.
Who can kick ass from day one. I'm not waiting on shit.
Yeah.
That's why if I had to pick the corner, I'd go with the kid out of LSU. Caleb Downs, if you want to get nuts and trade up for Bain. But other than that,
There you go.
I love Sonny Styles, though. Love Sonny Styles.
Dog. Yeah, that's another name I could see in a Cowboys jersey. But you mentioned Dak, so let's get into it. To wrap this up, our game we do with every fan that comes on. We're going to play a little bit of Keep 3, Cut 3 Dallas Cowboys edition right now, all right? We're going to start at quarterback. You only get to pick one player at each position, so you better damn choose wisely. And I know the Cowboys got some dogs at quarterback, running back, receiver that you got to pick from. So we're going to start at quarterback, and I'm going to give you your first name, Troy Aikman.
And I have to cut him?
Or keep him, whatever you just say. You pick. You just know if you cut him, you can't keep another quarterback.
Oh. Cut.
Oh, shit.
Now explain. Because Iman said this in the past. If it wasn't for Emmett, if it wasn't for that defense, it wasn't for the line, then does Aikman got those Super Bowls? Or if it wasn't for Irvin, too?
Okay. Yes. And all right. Yeah. Emmett, the line. Emmitt Smith, I mean, I'll die on the hill for this kid. Like that guy, I think he's the best of all time for longevity and a number of other reasons. Obviously, the stats are there. And, people talk about the monster offensive line, but Emmett, made that line just as good as they made him. So Aikman, his stats, you look at it, they're not great. They didn't ask him to throw the ball a ton. No. But what Aikman did bring was, he wrote the book on how to lead that team. And he had to lead it through some bullshit, dude, because back then the Cowboys were from, the coaching staff, the owners box, all this shit. It was a mess. And he had to navigate that. So much love to him. But yeah, as far as there's other quarterbacks I'd rank probably 2 quarterbacks I'd rank higher than him and Dak and Romo, but it's a tough call, dude. I'd have to cut.
Cut Aikman. Oh, Super Bowl winner. All right. Okay, let's
got 3 rings. He's happy. He's going to be okay if I cut him on this podcast.
Well, he's doing all right. All right. We'll kick it over to running back, and I have this feeling that Zeke's going to be the odd man out between Emmitt Smith and Tony Dorsett. So why don't we start with Tony Dorsett, keeping or cutting him?
Tony D's awesome. I got his autograph downstairs, man. Love that thing. But yeah, and there was a time when he was a standard of the most successful collegiate running back of all time. He's got Super Bowl rings with the Cowboys. At the time, you couldn't touch it. Dude has a 99-yard touchdown run under his belt. The guy was just a total package when there wasn't a lot of, running backs like him that blended that speed and stuff catching ability. There's a lot of bruisers back in those days, and Tony D just kind of came up with the heightened level of athleticism. But I mean, if you're talking, yeah, I probably have to cut. I'm going to cut that one.
I mean, I can't blame you with Emmitt Smith on them. I mean, come on.
Right, dude. This is a no-brainer. I hate cutting.
Are you going to keep? So, all right, well, let's go into it. Are you going to keep Emmitt Smith as your running back?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
I would cut Tony D for Zeke, though. I mean, and Zeke didn't have the longevity, but those 3 years, I mean, Zeke I got 2 Zeke jerseys still. I'm a big Zeke fan.
I am too.
I just those 3 years, I mean, he was the cream of the crop. I mean, just being honest. If he didn't go to Cabo trying to chase the money, he messed it up. He should have just kept working out. But, I mean, them 3 years, and granted, I love Tony D too, because when I played rec league, you either wanted an Eric Dickerson face mask or a Tony D face mask. So, yeah, but
did Tony D have the bar in the middle? Was that him?
Nah, he had
Who was that? Earl Campbell, didn't he? Earl Campbell had the bar.
Earl Campbell had the bar.
Yeah,
there was another. I thought there was
Thurman
a
Thomas.
Thurman. I'm thinking of Thurman.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of
Thomas.
Thurman.
Yeah, but we all wanted the Tony D or the Eric Dickerson face mask. So yeah.
Yeah, Tony D had the Aaron Rodgers face mask. That's what he had. Yeah, that's what it is. All right. Let's kick it over to receiver, your first receiver. And this one can go deep, especially now you throw Pickens. Now you might got to throw Pickens into the mix too, because you were talking about Irvin, Dez, CD. So
that's hard.
Why don't we just start with Dez Bryant? I think there's more longevity than CD so far, and CD's coming off a bad year for CD standards. So why don't we start with Dez Bryant?
All right. Now, Dez, we talked about the catch. We won't do it again.
It was a no catch.
His career could have ended up even better than what it was.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about a Hall of Fame guy if one or two things went differently. But either way, he owns the receiving touchdowns record for the Cowboys. So, and he did it, I think, 7 or 8 years. I'm still going to cut him because
me too.
I mean, I love Dez, and you talk about a guy that the dude was from Texas. He's from East Texas, Lufkin. He had the X, man. He was flashy, dude. He gave us everything that Jerry's going to love in a receiver. He got into shit with Romo, but those two are buddies.
I didn't like that part though. He was a red zone. I mean, he was a red zone guy. Like he was unstoppable.
Mitts. You're talking about banana hand snatching the ball.
Yeah,
if he's manned up in the end zone,
it's over. It's over. Just throw it up. Just throw it his way.
Yeah,
I'm with you though. I would have cut him too.
It's one of those weird ones because I remember when Dez was getting drafted, it was weird because of how bad I wanted him on. He was one of those guys like if he's not a Packer, I cannot live with him on a team that I hate. So I have very vivid memory for some reason of where I was the exact moment that Dez Bryant got drafted. I was letting the dog out the house and I was pissed. Almost locked the door. I don't want to see the dog again. This is all over. Fuck everything. Dez Bryant's a Cowboy. It was one of those picks. He's so good. I'm surprised you cut him, but I understand why you cut him. All right, let's kick it back over to the quarterback then. And let's just even leave Staubach out of it. Too old, probably your guy that you auto keep anyway. So it's like at this point, it's probably down to, I don't know, Tony Romo or Dak Prescott. So why don't we just go with Dak? Would you keep or cut Dak Prescott?
I'm keeping him. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, like I said, there's a
with no Super Bowls and
no Super Bowls, not even past the divisional round, my friend. There's a narrative about him that I swear to God, if he threw 4 picks like Josh Allen did, I can't remember the game that they
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, was it Texans that they were playing that they lost to? Yeah. If Dak does that, the man is crucified. He's not making it
cut
to the truck after the game. Dude,
probably getting
the media
jumped.
Is going to destroy him. All the man does is put up huge stats. That doesn't mean that he's the best quarterback all time. Stats are only a part of it. And what I love about Dak is what he brings as far as a leader is concerned, a teammate, the intangible shit. And I loved it coming out of Mississippi State when we took him in the 4th round. When Romo got hurt, broke his back or collarbone, whatever, for like the 3rd or 4th time. And he was coming in with Jason Garrett on that team. I texted my brother and I said, well, I guess Zeke has to share the offensive rookie of the year with Dak because this is about to go down. I mean, I didn't miss a beat. I knew this guy. I just had a feeling about him because he's got that it factor. And at quarterback, if you can tie that in, athletically, he's not the best. The dude's a tank. He can play linebacker if you wanted him to. But as far as just leading a team and a guy that I know isn't going to take it lightly, I'd line him up with anyone. He does enough with his arm. The dude's smart. He's audible in left and right. Coaches love to coach a guy like that. It's a goddamn shame he's not been to a conference championship game, because I think if he were to at least make a Super Bowl, this isn't even a discussion. As far as I'm concerned, there's a lot to love about Aikman and 3 rings. Romo, he's got the stats. So does Dak, even more so. And by the time he's done, he'll own every single one of them for the Cowboys. But, he is missing that overall success. And there's, that's not just because of him. You're talking about.
He gets a lot of flack, though. You remember that year he outdoed Aaron Rodgers, but we let Aaron Rodgers with a couple seconds throw a 30-yard comeback to
Jared Cook. Yes, that's the type of
tight end. So
how beautiful was that pass?
One of the greatest passes I've ever seen in my life. But Dak's had some.
There's always some shit going on with Dak.
I'm telling you, he's outplayed some people, but Our defense kind of let them down, but that was clearly. I'm talking about. I was in the house saying, "All right, this is the year we bought." I was so excited. And as soon as Aaron Rodgers let that ball go, and Jared Cooks like dive down and catch it on the edge, I said, I'm not lying. I didn't talk to people for like 3 weeks. I swear to God, I didn't talk to anybody for like 3 weeks. That hurt my heart.
Yeah,
anyway,
that was a tough one. And the Cowboys have like wrote the book on how to lose games like that. I swear to God.
Aaron Rodgers owns y'all in y'all's joint. That's the
big time, dude.
That throw. Oh,
we pay rent in his stadium, man. Because
that's another one of those. Yeah, you and the Bears both. This is like one of those things where there was another player like you remember exactly where you were in the moment going on when he made that throw. And Jared Cook, bro, when the Packers did not bring back Jared Cook, and Jared Cook wrote a whole like article thing about how much Green Bay, the team, the city means to him, and then Green Bay proceeded to let his ass walk. Oh my God, it was hell on this fan base. But I can't blame you for Dak, right? For all the playoff faults and not winning, right? We're talking about a guy who was a 98.3 passer rating in his Cowboys career, 36,000 passing yards, 243 touchdowns, 92 picks in 139 games. Pristine stats. Now, on the other side of that coin is he's seen more of his head coaches get fired than has playoff wins. So it's like this Dak is in this weird purgatory. And now Drake May's got more career playoff wins than him. And this is another reason why playoffs or wins aren't a quarterback stat, right? Even though Dak is responsible, as Iman graciously pointed out recently, the other episode, that Dak is responsible for another loss. But I mean, the guy finished the season with 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, has 4 seasons with 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns since 2019, which is more than any other quarterback in the NFL. Like, the guy is getting older and coming to the end of it, has no playoff success to show for it. But when he's healthy for a full regular season, he's always competing for an MVP. Like, it seems like always.
There's a cool if you look at the stats on fourth quarter comeback wins, like he and Romo did that shit like clockwork. Now, were we in a bad situation because of some stupid shit they probably did earlier in the game? More than likely. But these men were able to lead their teams back in some cool ways, and that speaks to the intangible leadership that both Dak and Romo have. But I'll have to give it to Dak.
All right. Well, what about receiver then? Last one. We're going to give you Michael Irvin as your receiver to keep a cut next.
No brainer keep.
Okay, that was easy. Why?
Because
have you ever watched him?
He was Dez in the 8s before Dez was,
yes,
man.
Sir. The playmaker,
baby. Playmaker, man. That is a Jerry Jones guy. And yes, he ended up being a big problem. I don't want to point fingers, but that son of a bitch ended up being a problem. With the whole, what created the whole Cowboys downfall scandal, you name it. He was all over it. But that man, when he was on the field, Aikman has gone on record saying that you could see how either A, hungover, or B, still intoxicated Irvin was on that field. But he is busting his ass on every rep, every sprint, puking on the field. Yes, it's of his own doing, but he is still out there kicking ass and taking names in practice. And then he goes up in the games and I'm glad he ended up making it to the Hall of Fame. A lot of people held, some of his bullshit against him not to put him in there earlier, and that's okay. I get it. He was an asshole for parts of the time, and he's very, very loud and eccentric, but that's just how receivers ended up becoming. And he was one of those, first ones that kind of wrote the book on how to do it. But as far as physical, athletic, he's out of the U. He's one of the first guys that, he was with Jimmy at the U. He ended up playing for Jimmy at the Cowboys. He's Mr. Cowboys when it comes to receivers. And, you talk about the number 88, Drew Pearson, Michael Irvin, Dez Bryant, now CeeDee Lamb. Drew Pearson was the man. He ended up being a Hall of Famer too, but Michael Irvin made it cool to be a receiver for the Cowboys and wear number 88.
Sure. I mean, I can't blame you. We're talking about a guy who played in the running back era of football where like teams were running the shit out of the ball the most. And Michael Irvin sitting here as besides CD, he's the only other Cowboy with 5 straight seasons of 1,000 yards receiving. But the thing with Michael Irvin did it in a NFL where they were more running forward.
Handed the image.
Yeah, that's the same thing with Aikman, man. He's not going to have. We just ran the shit out of the ball and just like. Folks knew we were going to do it. Larry Allen would tell people across from him, "It's coming here." Like choo-choo, motherfucker, get out the way because,
I'm coming at you,
what we did.
No, I love it. I can't blame you. And now Michael Irvin on the belt's ass tour for the rest of his life with the U now. But he's another guy. That was a guy he was not happy about the Schottenheimer hire when that happened.
And he's gonna let you know about it. But
he did. I mean, he's one of the first 5 guys in NFL history to have 10 catches and 150 yards in a conference championship game. Again, in a league where it was more run game dominated. So you imagine Michael Irvin in modern NFL, what the number he's probably putting up now, what he was doing back in the 90s. Come on. I can't. Yeah.
But he is one guy that I always imagine how good he either would have been or how good we would have been as a team if he wasn't the ringleader of coke sniffing, fucking girls, White House, just a whole bunch of bullshit.
White House,
and when I was younger, I didn't really know. We would hear stories from Virginia, but now that I'm older to realize he was doing all of that, I'm like, God damn, we might would have won 7 Super Bowls if y'all just would have done the right thing.
That team just got so good so quick. They were all so young, and they were an absolute team full of superstars, and they were marketed that way. The road was handed to them. And it went to shit just as quick, dude. And it's a damn shame because you're absolutely right. I heard you talking about what Jimmy could have done, as pertains to comparison to Bill Belichick. He absolutely could have put up numbers like that and gotten several more rings because no one going to stop that team. Jerry was going to spend the money and whatnot. So it's a shame they went down that path. And there's a lot of stories I tell my son about what it was like to be a fan when Jimmy freaking Johnson.
Come on, man. How about them Cowboys?
Let go, retired, whatever you want to call it. They just went their separate ways. It's a damn shame.
Yeah. All right. Well, Nick, I appreciate you making the time to come on and talk Cowboys. We went way over, but we got way into it. So I appreciate you doing that.
Sorry.
With us.
Yeah.
You pulled me in. You pulled me in.
We got Evan with a cowboy hat back on, so you did what you had to do. You pulled a lost soul back into a lost franchise. So good for you.
Thanks for having me, you guys. This was fun.
Absolutely. Yes, thanks for coming on, Nick. We'll see you, and I guess go Pack.
America's team, big. This is the year.
Oh, sure. All right, we'll see you.
See you.